Alright guys, so what do you do when you need more light on your tank and you don't want to buy a whole nother fixture? You get a light strip. Alright everybody, and welcome back to the channel here. Simply Reefing. Brought to you today here the Orphek LED light bar. This is their new generation 2, or as it would be put, the OR2 light bar. New out for the 2020 year. I'm just going to do a quick unboxing here on this particular light I just got in. A couple things I wanted to cover here. The box, I did get this from Saltwater Aquarium. This was during their, I think Orphek had like a sort of like a Black Friday kind of a sale going on. With their lights and offering, you know, a bit of a discount. So I went ahead and snagged up a bar to go ahead and put over the new system here. So just wanted to go ahead, show you guys the box. It did come packaged in another box here, so you guys, if you do order from them, it'll come boxed up in another box, nice and secure. I like the shipping that these guys do on this. I've seen some folks get the light just like this in its own little packaging, and that's pretty banged up. What I will say is that when I did get it, the box was kind of banged up, but I figure, you know, it is UPS and they are notorious for that. So let's go ahead and jump right in here, see what we got going on. I did order the 4-foot. I've been seeing on their website that they have a 6-foot or 5-foot one. That's been like a ghost of the hobby right now, to try to figure out, you know, where's this light at and get that there, get that from them. So let's see. This is actually packed in here pretty tight. So one thing I will say I do like about Orphek is their spectrums that they do offer on the lights, and that was one of the reasons I did go ahead and get it, and I'll be sure to cover that in this video here. Here we go. That's out of the way. All right, so there's a little foam protective covering here on the light. Fairly simple packaging, just to make sure that you get the light in good shape. There's the light bar, we have the power cord, the transformer, the LED driver, and mounting kit that comes with it here. So that's pretty much what's in the box. Obviously no instructions. You guys are all pretty savvy at this. If you're in this hobby here, you are savvy at doing things kind of like a DIY or doing it yourself. Mounting kit. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick before we jump into the light. Well, like I was saying, one of the reasons I did pick up the Orphek light, like I said, was the light inspection that they offer. I know they have the Atlantic V2, which is their bigger light kit that they have, or the lighting system there. And I'm sorry for pausing here for a moment. Just got a couple of parts that are falling out on me right now. All right, so looks like you get the mounting bracket, which I probably will try to modify and put on my T-slots here. A couple of screws, which looks like they should slide right into the channel, and a set of mounting brackets here, or actually for your hanging kit. So you guys can see you got 2 of these and then the mounting brackets. So let me put these to the side here before they fall and I lose them, and then that'll be it. I did want to add more light. I do have T5s. I had them on the previous build, but I didn't want to put T5s over this new tank. Mainly just for aesthetics. you know, the lighting that I have, the lighting rack that I have set up is the 80/20 T-slot aluminum that's over the tank, and to try to mount on T5s to the side of that would probably just be a bit much for that, at least for, like I said, my aesthetics on it and what I like to see over the tank. I will say this light, as I haven't unwrapped it from its packaging, does look pretty well built. It also looks like it's made out of aluminum here. And what I did notice on the newer edition with this light is that they obviously came out with a newer spectrum. This is the Blue Plus. This is not the full Reef LED. So it's the Blue Plus. And they redid the, what was it? The acrylic that was covering the light itself. Just before release, I saw some of the previews on the actual light itself, and just want to check this out to make sure. I noticed that they didn't put any screws down the whole acrylic assembly here. Well, it looks like they went ahead and fixed that, which is good. That way, on the acrylic assembly, what was going on was they had 2 screws on either end, none in the middle. And what was happening is that during testing, the acrylic would heat up and it would bubble. So, real quick, show you guys this light. Look at that. T-slot. Aluminum build on that. The only thing that I can say right now that I may have an issue with is the electrical cable run. The lights in the tank are pretty tall, and that just may be an issue, but we'll find out once we go to mount it up. So let's go ahead and check the light out. It is a beefy light, I can tell you that. So let's go ahead, get it plugged in, talk a little bit more about the spectrum and what's offered here. See if I don't blind myself and everybody on the camera. All right, so there it is. Let's see, let's get it pointed up here. You guys can see. I'm gonna put that down right here, give myself a nice little tan, and take a look at a few things here. So to talk about the spectrum on the lights, what do you get with this? Again, it's the 120 that is going to be 4 feet in length all around. You're gonna get the 410 nanometer, 420, 430, 440, let's see, 460, 470, and 480. I believe they're all 3-watt LEDs. That makes it about 36 LEDs at 3 watts each. I wouldn't expect them to drive them at 3 watts, just because that would be overkill. But looking at it myself without blinding myself completely here, it does have a nice spread. Sorry for that, you guys. And you know, this should add a bit of par. I will say, I believe Dana Riddle on Reef to Reef did a wonderful review on these lights and went over the spectrum and all the nice bits there that went along with it. So he did cover this light pretty well as far as spectrum, par, and intensity. But I'll be sure to go ahead and get that, get some par measurements for you guys here over my tank. That again was one of the reasons I did get it. The tank is right at the max for my par with the lights that I have on it, and I needed more power, you know, get some more light in there. So hopefully once I get these mounted up, I'll be able to get the numbers I'm looking for, especially in the blue peaks there, and enjoy all the growth that's going to happen from this. What I can tell you though, this light, for the little bit of time that I've had it on just now, is warming up pretty well. So we'll see over time how that works out. If this is just going to be a nice little hot box or a nice little warming rack that sits up above my tank. Again, there's no fan on this, so you are at the whim of the heat sink, and I'm pretty certain that Orphek has taken that into account when building this, and that is majority of the reasons why they are not running at 3 watts directly. So I was going to get this light mounted above the tank, and I'll be right back. All right, so here it is installed over the tank. The light output is going to be measured here in a moment, but so far so good. I did have to modify the light bracket itself just to, or at least my hanging bracket that I had, just so I can get the light up there and get it mounted. You guys can see I had to add on another T-slot to push it out a bit, so that way I can get the angle that I needed for the light to shine in the tank. But here we go on the side profile. All in all, I think the tank is liking the light. All the inhabitants are doing well. I got it hooked up to the apex, so that way I can set it on a timer for it to come on in the morning, turn off in the night. And I do like it. It's actually giving off a nice extra glow to the tank and everything. So let me see if I can get the light turned off here. Hang on one second, so you guys can see the difference with the light on and with the light off. So let's see. So that's with the light on. Here you have in this corner here, and you guys can tell real quick when the light goes off, it's got a lot of shadow. There's the tank with the light off, and here it is with it on. Not a drastic difference, but something I can notice just looking at the system. What I will say, it does look like the T5 Blue Plus, which I did mention I do have. It's just this looks much better over the tank. Right now we're in the peak of the white lighting here. Should be dimming down maybe in an hour or two, so that way I can let the corals kind of rest a bit. But let me go ahead and grab the par meter here and give you guys some quick numbers on this. So hang on one moment. So I got this semi set up. I want to give you guys a shot of just the Orphek 120 light strip by itself. See, everybody's think it's bedtime now, and I'm gone to hide, and you guys can tell it's pretty good glow. I actually like it standing off by itself here. Usually I have it set to come on with the daylights and then go off towards the afternoon. But let's go ahead and check those par measurements here real quick. All right, so we're ready here. The lights sit off about 8 inches off the surface of water. I got them same height with the Radions. So right now we're looking at water surface here, maybe about, and now keep in mind guys, this is, so 8 inches plus the 24 inches tank depth, we're looking maybe about at least 10 inches, about 10 inches under the surface, under the light here. We're getting 256 with about 80% per. As I come across, you guys can see, it does change a bit. Again, I usually do my par measurements with the water, with the wave pumps and everything going. That way I can get a better idea as to what I'm looking at. But at least you're looking at maybe about at least 200 at the surface, right underneath the light, 250. Keep in mind, this is just a single light strip itself. Put that number straight across, and I mean, that is those are pretty good numbers there, just for one light. We got 230 here, and I'm just going back and forth across the tank. But we got 300 in some spots. So depending on where you have it, those are the numbers that you're going to see there. So again, 81, 82% per. Those are actually pretty good numbers. That's what I was hoping to see on this. Down to where I have all my aquapores at, we're looking at 130, 150. That's that middle section. Moving off to the left here, we're still in the hundreds. 153, so 170, averaging about, and I'm right over the clam right now. That is still in the hundreds here. Let me turn this just a bit, there we go. So we're looking at right around where I have all my aquapores, at least 150. Now getting down towards the sand bed here, I'm probably gonna see a big drop with the par numbers. That is maybe 3.5 inches off of the sand bed, right above the A-cans here. And heading over here to my Goniopora on the left, it'll see 20 par. And if I come back to the right side, where all the hammers are at, right in the midst of everything there, you're looking at about 107. Now that's maybe about, I'd say probably about 8 inches. Again, the hammers and the A-cans and the aquas, or at least the aquas, I'm sorry, the hammers and the aquas are about on the same level there. The biggest difference that I noticed was when I have all the lights on. And you're gonna see a huge jump here in all of the numbers as soon as I go and turn the Radions back on. And right at the water surface with the Radions on, 818 to 700. Come down just a bit, we're looking at 435. Now, keep an eye on that number. I'm holding it right underneath the middle Radion, close to the water surface. And you're gonna see what I mean by adding more light will do. Now, see the par is 7,800, per is about 78. Go shut the Orpheks off. And there they go. So again, we're still underneath the middle section, still towards the water surface. And you see how the par is bouncing around. Now when I come down to the acros, I'm going to turn the Orphek back on, come down to the acros. The acros are seeing at least 350, averaging there maybe 300 or less. And when I turn off the Orphek, that's when I start to lose a lot of the light. and the Orphek's off now. So I'm seeing about 200. Now again, this is peak hours here. PER's at 76, PAR's about 200 to 230, bouncing around there. Again, the waves does cause a lot of the ripples. With the Orphek's on, I jump up an extra 100 PAR, but I get a little bit better PER out of it also. I'm staying still 78%. When I move this back over to where the clam is at, you can see 350 or so. So right now, those are the numbers here, and nothing really scientific with anything that I'm doing. I have my semi-par meter. That's giving me good baseline numbers, so I have an understanding of what's going on with the PAR in the tank. The Orphek Light is going to give me coverage across the whole length of the tank and add more blue to the spectrum here, which is going to benefit the corals in the long run. All in all, I do like the light. If you guys are interested in getting this, check out Saltwater Aquariums. I believe they have a good deal going on with them right now. Until then, I mean, like I said, if you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. And until the next one, I will see you guys later.